Hello.
Hi. This
Hey.
fight week is a little different than you expected it would be, I would imagine. What's the vibe like this week with a new opponent?
Um, it's kind of. I think it's about the same. Just focus on winning and climbing my way up.
So can you talk to me a little bit about when you first got the call that there would be a new opponent, and what were your first thoughts?
I went through a day of like disappointment and like, wait, what does this mean? And then I'd say I had a little bit of an adrenaline dump for a second, like emotionally, I guess. And then once I learned that Tracy was on the table, that was an option. I instantly was like, all right, I gotta switch my focus and I gotta regroup my thoughts, but also give myself don't force it and make sure that I give myself enough time to process it. And then I made that switch, and here we are.
So was there a period of time where you thought maybe you weren't going to be fighting at all?
There was a possibility in my mind, because basically I think that's what happens initially is like, all right, so is the fight on still, or is it still happening, or is it not? But we still carried on with practice, no matter like regardless, because we knew they didn't say it was off yet, so But I think that thought pops in your mind a little bit.
I'm wondering in these situations, do the opponents ever? I know this is your first time having this kind of short notice pull up, but did the opponents message you and apologize or say something like, "Hey, I still want to fight you"? Did you get any kind of message like that from her?
No.
Is that something that you would have wanted, or do you feel like maybe kind of keep that separation because maybe the fight could happen at some point?
No, I don't. I didn't really think about that. I just focus on the job that I have in front of me. So, I might have done something like that myself, but no, I didn't really care.
And I mentioned already, I believe it's the only time you've ever had an opponent change like this. Why do you think that is because this happens all the time? Why do you think, do you think it's something about you that people really want to fight you, so they're not going to risk that opportunity? Or do you feel like maybe even just women have less opportunities, so they don't want to give up?
We do what we say we're gonna do. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. No, I that's a good question, and that could be something. I mean, I definitely would agree with the fact that the opportunity to fight me is a huge one. So even if it comes with huge, I guess, risk of just getting something happening, with a highlight reel or something, it's going to be a big moment no matter what, because I'm just me. And so I think people know that what I bring to the table is something that can be very special. And so I think people want to be a part of that. And I think that, and I do respect Tracy a lot for accepting this fight. I know she was getting ready to fight a week later, but still takes a lot of courage to step up to the plate. So, yeah.
When you look at the two fights that you have, one in front of you, one that you had in front of you, how different do they look, or do they look the same?
I think the main difference is like Macy had more of like more finishing, killer instinct type of a quality. She stands lefty, so she's a little more dynamic in the striking aspect as far as like what's coming at me, I guess. But Tracy likes to grapple a little bit more. I think she likes her wrestling, and she's got some decent hands as well. And so she stands orthodox. So I think as far as their approach towards me is probably going to be very similar. So yeah, defensively, I'm kind of looking at the same thing. And my offense, I think I can just be a little bit more open and dynamic this time.
What would a win do for your career?
A win's a win, man. You know how the UFC works. You're only relevant if you're winning, or obviously if you do something special. But so yeah, that's definitely high on my priority list. Number one is protect myself at all time, but number two is to win, and then number three is to be spectacular and perform and be me and do what I do best. And so yeah, it's very important.
I don't know you don't want to look too far past this fight, but do you see yourself fighting again this year, or do you feel like you're going to take some time off for the holidays? What's the game plan going forward?
Yeah, God willing, I'm healthy, and that's as long as it's part of God's plan. I want to fight again this year. So yeah, we'll see I'll take care of business, and then we'll go from there. Thank you.
Hey, Rose.
Hey.
I saw you posted a picture with Raquel Pennington, the champ. How did those rounds go?
Oh, that was fun, man. I mean, I trained with Raquel a long time ago. There was a period of time where, where we didn't train together as much. I was more training with Tisha Torres because we were in the same division. But kind of really good rounds. She knows how to give me the looks that I need, and she tries to use her weight on me, and so I just gotta be scrappy and use my skills to try to navigate that.
What's more intimidating, walking into the octagon or speaking in front of City Hall?
Yeah, the first time I spoke in front of City Hall, especially because like my manager was like, "Don't read off a paper, go from your heart." I was like, yeah, that was nerve wracking. I was definitely sweating. But the second time, it wasn't so bad. So it was a little more. I was like, okay, I've been here before. So yeah, it's something that I hate politics. It's just so annoying. But for the cause that I was, that's so near and dear to me and to so many people that I know, and I know it's so important to the city of Westminster. So going in front, like it was something I was just like really passionate about doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the dog park is staying open now, so.
Yeah, I know you went on aerial before this, but do you want to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so basically, I mean, the battle, the first battle's won, it's not over. There's still a lot of groundwork that needs to be, lots of work that needs to be done. And I think that there's still going to be opposition no matter what. But I think that we'll see what happens going forward. I mean, we're still going to keep fighting. We're still going to try to advocate for keeping it open. But 5 out of the 7 counselors voted to keep it the same size, just with some improvements and modifications. So looking forward to being involved and continue to fight.
Is there any extra motivation to take the O from Tracy's UFC career?
I think she lost before, right?
No, I think she's 5. I mean, in the UFC specifically.
Oh, in the UFC. Okay, I got you. I mean, I think it's just good to win. Period. I know that. The undefeated record. I don't know. I think there's a lot of extra importance placed on that. I don't really pay attention to that stuff. So yeah, but I want to win.
And then a few years ago, we got a tweet from Lil Wayne. He said, "I'm about to do a song named Thug Rose."
That's funny.
Too hard. Are we ever gonna get that song?
I know that's actually funny that you mentioned that, because literally that came up in, we were kind of reminiscing the other day on just past experiences, and that night was super crazy because I think we were reminiscing on that night, and it was just all these celebrities backstage. I remember meeting a bunch of them, and that was a huge moment, and it definitely caught the eyes of lots of high profile people, which to me, I don't idolize nobody. I don't really, but it was noteworthy to be oh, everybody's paying attention. And then I remember we mentioned that. I was like, oh yeah, whatever happened to that Lil Wayne song? We never got that. But yeah, I listen to gospel music anyway, so it don't matter.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Hi, Rose.
Yeah.
So you kind of hit on it that Tracy and Macy have a couple of different styles or different flavors that they bring as far as the matchup. But was there any changes that you made on that short notice, just those couple of weeks, in terms of preparing for Tracy versus Macy, just in the actual tactical aspect?
Yeah, I think we kind of focused a little bit more. I guess there was a little bit of difference. I think just on we stopped focusing so much on I guess what Macy was going to try to do, and kind of reviewed a little bit more of what we were doing already, but just minus the Macy stuff, because I think she just kind of added in a couple extra, little nuances that not everybody brings to the table, like her elbows from the clinch and things like that. Not saying that Tracy wouldn't try to do that. I'm still ready for that, but yeah, she just kind of Macy's a little more, I think, stand out and unique in her little things that she does. But I do feel like Tracy is more tactical, maybe like a little more thoughtful in her approach. I think Macy's more instinctual, I guess. Yeah.
Being that it's going to be the larger cage as opposed to the Apex, how much is that a factor for you in being able to establish your footwork and your movement?
Yeah, the Apex cage did feel kind of small. But we, at the same time, I'm fine with fighting in a smaller area too, because 50% of my training goes on at home, and we're in a 2-car garage, so it's kind of similar feels. So I train I've developed my style now to where I've evolved a little bit more to where I don't need so much space to move anymore, and I kind of make people not going to be running around all over the place. Like, I might take a couple steps here and there, but I ain't going to be backpedaling the whole time. Just mainly, make them have to back up.
Totally understand. Mm-hmm. Now, this being far from your first rodeo in the main event and seeing all of the bright lights, this is her first time with it. How does your experience through these particular opportunities, having to do all of the media, so on and so forth, along with your experience directly in 25-minute fights, how will that factor in for you on Saturday?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it definitely helps. It definitely gives me more confidence, even in times where it's like I go through the same things every time. Not the same thing, but like similar moments of like, I've been here before, but it's like, oh, what am I doing? What are we here for? But I just remind myself I'm more in tune with my purpose and why I'm doing this, and I also am enjoying myself a lot more these days. I know who I am, and I'm a child of God, so it doesn't matter what happens really. I just have to go out there and put on display what the gifts that God's given me, and really just it's all love, So yeah, but I do think all that experience really does play into it. I just know what's important in life, So this is a big moment, but in the grand scheme of things, God is greater than everything.
You're a fighter with a style who you really kind of put the art in martial artist. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like now it just seems like you're at such a sense of peace? And do you think that helps allow you to go out there and just fight free and be you?
Yeah, especially in the midst of like so many trials and so many things that I've been through. It's like, I think that's what art is about. It's like it's all about cultivating the skills and the things that you can put it together to where you put it in a masterpiece where you get a message from it, you get moved by it. And so that's kind of what I go in there to try to do is put all of my 32 years of life experience and put it together in a way that can hopefully get somebody to look at it and be moved or touched. And maybe it doesn't happen every time, but I try to.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.